the regular size bus. Welcome this evening. I'd like to start out this evening with a public hearing. An ordinance providing for a local hospitality tax on the sale of prepared food and beverage. It starts the public hearing now at 7:01 p.m. Is there anyone who would like to speak on the hospitality tax? Yeah, please step forward. You'll have 3 minutes, if you would, and I'll give you a 30-second warning today.
And if you could, state your name.
State your name, please, yes.
Hi, my name is Susan Whittle. I've been specifically asked that this meeting be over by the start of the football game. So, my name is Susan Whittle, and I'm a homeowner and a business owner in Batesburg-Leesville, South Carolina. I'd like to speak to you tonight in favor of the hospitality tax. I will not take much of your time because I'm sure other opinions will be voiced, as we all have the right to do. There are never any easy answers when trying to find funding, whether it's for your child's summer camp or your child's education, whether it's for a new car or whether you think you can get along with the one you have for one more year. The citizens of Batesburg-Leesville are asking you to make a hard decision that can affect years of planning and growth in our community. Batesburg-Leesville will grow. The only question is, how is it going to grow, and where will our ranking be in livable communities? Where are we going to rank in the towns where we would like to raise our children, and in my case, grandchildren? We would all like the answer to that question to be towards the very top of the communities in South Carolina. That's not going to happen easily. We have to want it badly. And each one of us must help do that. Each one of us can help by keeping our property and streets clear of litter. Each one of us can help by working with our elderly and our children. Each one of us can help in a variety of ways. What we want to do tonight, however, is to talk about a community decision. We need to ask you, our council members and mayor, to bring this funding method to Batesburg-Leesville. We need to impress upon the citizens who have been chosen to serve on the committee, and we need to empower the town council and the mayor to make the best decisions on the spending of our hospitality monies. We are fortunate that our town has intelligent, dedicated staff. I've worked with many of them, and I'm 100% convinced that they will work tirelessly to provide good, solid, well-researched information to the Hospitality Committee and to you. They will not be making these decisions, though. It is our neighbors who sit on the committee,
30 seconds,
who will provide the proposals, and it is our elected officials who have been elected by us to make the decisions. I ask you please to vote yes on this ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I continue the public hearing, anyone else want to speak on local hospitality tax? All right, at this time I will end the public hearing for local hospitality tax. The second item this evening is a public hearing on the ordinance establishing council compensation. Is there anyone who would like to speak on that?
So if I make it up here, I got to be able to make it back.
Just state your full name, Ms. Bizarre, in 3 minutes, please.
Pansy Bizarre, well, I didn't know this was on things. I don't really have any. Are you saying go back to a salary for the council people? Is it be similar before, or what? Could you talk a little bit about that? I mean, are y'all voting on that tonight? Or?
Yes, ma'am.
So y'all are voting on it, well, when was it discussed?
We did first reading last meeting.
But.
And this is second reading tonight. And so this is the public hearing portion.
Okay.
Yeah, yes ma'am.
Well,
So Please.
We've been through this before and councils all over. I'm not against salaries, but I would like to see people earn them and to be here and to do their homework. I mean, everybody else who gets paid for something, it's not, needs to show why they're doing it.
Thank you. Anyone else on the public hearing for council compensation? Okay, at this time I'd like to close the public hearing for an ordinance establishing council compensation. And I have two councilmen who are coming in. If you would, take your seat and we'll continue. We'll start the regular meeting. Agenda. At this time, I'd like to call a regular council meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. on the September 10th in Batesburg-Leesville Town Hall Complex. Thank you and welcome everyone who's here this evening. I appreciate your participation in the community. At this time, I'd like to invite Pastor Kent Suits. If you'd please come up and give us an invocation.
Councilmen and women, thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to open this time up in prayer. I wanted to share another brief thought from another book. This is by Patrick Lencioni called The Ideal Team Player. And in it, he outlines 3 key characteristics or virtues for leaders and team members that are called to work together. And so the first of those 3 virtues is humility, that the person would have humility. And the way he describes that is that great team players lack excessive ego or concerns about status. They are quick to point out the contributions of others and slow to seek attention for their own. They share credit, emphasize team over self, and define success collectively rather than individually. And it is no great surprise then that humility is the greatest, single, and most indispensable attribute of being a team player. He goes on to talk about the other 2 key virtues are hunger, meaning that the person is driven and self-motivated to work hard and accomplish tasks, and that a person is smart. And what they mean by that is by being people smart. They work well with people, they appreciate what people have to say, they listen well, and they pay attention to others out of care and respect and love. So based on these 3 virtues, I'm going to be praying for our town, but also for you specifically as our town leaders. Let's pray. Great God and Father, we thank you that you have placed us in this place. You have put us here by your hand and for your glory. And now as our leaders of this town, these councilmen and women, as we enter into this time of meeting and thinking about the concerns of the people and of this town, I pray that you would give these council members humility, give them a deep respect for others, give them hunger to achieve what must be done with respect to others and out of love for the people. And I pray that you would give them good teamwork, that they would really be smart about working together and working well, that they would listen well and really think with wisdom that you provide on what is the best for this town as they lead with humility and with hunger and with respect. Ask all these things for your glory and for your kingdom and by your power. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. At this time, we would rise for the pledge.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Moving on to item 4, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hallman. Any discussion? I'd like to do a raised hand. All approve, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Moving on to item 5, adoption of minutes, August 13, 2018, regular council meeting. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Mr. Simpkins, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Minutes are adopted for the August 13th regular council meeting unanimously. Adoption of the minutes at August 27th, 2018 regular council meeting, council work session. Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Takes care of the minutes. If we could move on now to item number 4, the mayor's report. The next regular council meeting will be October the 8th, so mark your calendars. Item B, council committees report. Central Midlands Councilman Olin Gambrell. I know, Olin, you were absent or under the weather.
I did not make the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Any other report from the Midlands, Central Midlands, anyone? Okay, Environmental Planning Advisory Committee, Councilman Jason Prouse.
EPAC did not meet this month. I think we're scheduled for our next meeting in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. Joint Municipal Water and Sewer Commission meeting is coming up actually on Wednesday of this week, barring the hurricane staying off the shore long enough. Item C, BL Chamber of Commerce update, Mike Taylor. Did Mike submit a report? I know Mike's brother passed away. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
I never received a report.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like the presentation for council service to Jim Mitchell and Miss Linda Deloach. And I don't know if Linda is here, but I would like to do this to Mr. Mitchell. If someone could get me an apple box, because I don't like to be that much shorter than Mr. Mitchell to stand on. I'm going to come up there. Stand up there. Come on. Just long enough. Step up and serve. Is this on? Okay. Well, let me just, for the record, because this says your name and outstanding. Town of Batesburg-Leesville, and great appreciation to Councilmember Jim Mitchell for his outstanding service and dedication to the town of Batesburg-Leesville and its citizens, 2017 to 2018. Thank you for your service, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much. It was an honor and a pleasure, and wonderful experience serving with these folks right here. I'll tell you, I learned a lot. Appreciate you letting me do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Moving on to item 5, 6, 7, public comment regarding items on the agenda. Ms. Judy, do we have anyone? No one has signed up, so we're moving on to unfinished business. A, second reading ordinance providing for a local hospitality tax on the sale of prepared food and beverage.
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt by Mr. Simpkins, a second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
No.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
District 5 votes no.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Ordinance passes. Item B, second reading ordinance establishing council compensation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
By Mr. Gambrell, I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion? District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
No.
and Mayor votes yes. Ordinance passes. New business number 9. Approval of an electric service rights agreement with SCE&G and MCEC. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adopt.
A motion by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion?
Can we get an update from the town manager?
Town manager, please, if you
Yeah,
give
we
an
do
update.
have Troy Simpson here tonight,
Thank you,
government representative from Mid-Carolina Electric Cooperative. The white paper kind of explained to you guys that over the course of years, Mr. Simpson, I don't know if you want to come up, but over the course of the years, the co-ops and SE&G, there's been debates regarding service rights to particular properties. I don't know if fighting for customers is an adequate way to put it. But over the past couple of years, they've come to the table to try and establish who's going to serve who parcel by parcel within their service areas. And they've reached an agreement, and what they've done is they're going around now, I know within Lexington County, asking all the municipalities, as you have in here, you have the agreement as well as the map that accompanies this, that establishes who is going to serve the people within Batesburg-Leesville and then right outside. And part of what this will do is help to, as we annex in the future, should we annex, if we annex, and hopefully we will know who's going to service those parcels of property from a franchise standpoint. If we annex someone, we can notify the proper entity for franchising reasons. So, Troy, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that?
Sure, and the whole action really came from.
If you would, come on and step up to the mic, Troy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Everyone can hear.
The whole effort started probably back in 2007, I guess it was, and it really came down to territorial disputes, who gets to serve what and when, and so that all came to be. Pretty much now, if you look at the maps, it's either green or red. Mid-Carolina will be green, and SE&G will be red. It also expedites the delivery of services as well. But again, it's the two companies working together. I know that in the white paper, it's stated it's agreement for 30 years from there. And so just, if there are any particular questions from that end, I'd be happy to try to answer them there.
Is this something that you are getting from other municipalities that the two companies serve?
Yeah, we're reviewing all of them. We are actually going out to each one of the municipalities and from there. Anywhere that Mid-Carolina has service territory.
And Troy, if you could follow up about the franchises that'll follow this.
Sure. This is the first step before we actually be going back out or coming back to you again to ask for new franchise fee agreements. We don't, the power company, I'll speak for Mid-Carolina, we don't gain anything from that agreement. We just collect it. It's up to you what you do with the funds, what percentage that you choose to use at that point. That's all up to you from there. But we simply are the vehicle to collect it. But this piece is pursuant. This has to be in place first before we go any further with that.
Got it.
Will there be any changes in the new agreement compared to the one that's in place now?
No, sir. What you have here is very similar to what's been before. It's formalizing everything. It's pretty much what we've been doing already. And if you look at the agreement, Who would have that copy?
I believe we haven't been given the franchise, the proposed franchise agreement.
You don't have the
But
franchise
from
agreement.
what Morgan told me, the biggest difference is the new franchise agreement will reference this electric service
Right.
rights agreement along with the map in the franchise agreement.
So, Mr. Luckadoo, what we have in front of us is our white paper explaining the process
And the actual
and the actual
agreement. in the
agreement
map.
with municipality. Okay.
Right, the ESRA is just the first step as you move forward before you get to
Right.
the franchise fee agreement.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
what happens when an individual has service with one company and we annex that property and it's with the other company? Do they have a choice or we have a choice? Or
It will remain with the company that it was with prior.
prior,
Yes,
so
sir.
grandfather rules?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you. Appreciate your time for being here this evening. District 2?
Yes.
District 3? District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5? District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And I vote yes. It is approved, the service rights agreement. Moving on to item B, we have resolutions for the MASC Hometown Economic Development Grant commitment.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion?
Can town manager elaborate?
We do have this in our white packet. Thank you, Mr. Luckadoo. If you would, for the public, give a little synopsis of this, please.
Okay, so each year the Municipal Association does what's called a Hometown Economic Development Grant. In previous years, they've done 8 grants for municipalities. This year, they have upped that number to 12. It is up to $25,000 that can be used towards studies or things to improve your community from a community development and economic development standpoint. The application that we have prepared is for a B&L master plan type study, which includes a strategic vision for both the historic downtown business districts, the 2 town parks, and the conversion of a historical Haynes Auditorium into a performing arts type theater. That's the scope of work that we have defined in the application. As a part of the application, they require a resolution be done by town council and included with the application that commits to the 10% grant match, which in this case, if it's a $25,000 application, it would be a $2,500 grant match. So they're seeking that commitment for that in the resolution. As well as what I put in the white paper, if we were awarded, just proactively thinking about where would the $2,500 potentially come from. Right now we do have $37,351.55 that is in a side savings account for the town that we could draw the funds from that account if council wishes to move forward with this $2,500. Those are unencumbered funds.
Mr. Mayor, would that not come from H-Tax?
Yeah, that is a possibility within the law of the state of South Carolina.
It is a possibility.
It's possible.
As long as the plan falls within the
Right.
guidelines of the ordinance, it could.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
When will we look at this grant being awarded?
I have not gotten the answer to that question yet. So I know it's due by September 28th as far as how long it takes them to review and award the grants. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get an answer. Once I get an answer on that, I can email council and let you know.
So we'll be getting $25,000 for the cost of $2,500.
Correct.
Up to 25.
Up to, yeah, up to $25,000.
Their intent is to give 12 $25,000 grants.
Any other discussion? District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5, 7,
Yes.
8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. The grant commitment is in place. Moving on to item C, with resolution SCDOT Municipal State Highway Project Agreement in relation to the highway widening project. Motion to adopt.
Yes.
Mr. Gambrell for the first and Mr. Simpkins with the second. Any discussion? Mr. Luckady, would you like to give us a summary based on what's been received in our council packet?
Sure. Just like we did a couple months ago with the DOT municipal agreement with the sidewalk project, this one is for the Highway 1 widening. And to shorten it down for you is they are, in this agreement, they are basically stating that Highway 1 is going to be widening and the town will be responsible for moving any utility lines related that are on our system. We will be responsible for the relocation of those lines that are impacted due to this project. So for a couple years, Tim Shumpert has been attending stakeholder meetings with DOT on site and Spectrum and I believe Mid-Carolina, SC&G, all the entities who have utilities that are impacted by this project. And over the course of the 2 years, there's been changes to the plans here and there, depending, I know they had 12 properties that they were having issues with that was continuously changing the plans. Well, they just finalized the plans and delivered the final sets of plans to us not long ago. And we've had it being engineered and looked at as to try and determine what the cost estimate was going to be. We received back the other day that the cost would be potentially in the range of $50,000 to $100,000 on our side on what it would take to do this. Now, in the past couple of days, we've reached back out because we asked to do an open cut on Highway 1 to do the encasing of the line. And DOT came back and actually denied the request to open cut, and they were going to require bore and jack. Well, I'm going that this could impact the cost that we've asked them to review the open cut because they're going to be milling the road up and coming back with new asphalt anyways. And so they are reconsidering that, which could pull the cost down some more at this point.
At what point would we know our cost in this?
We're close to going out to bid to actually bid the project to see which contractor and how much.
So we're clear on the scope of work?
Minus the reevaluation of open cut versus bore and jack. We're trying to get them to commit to open cut. So at this point, this DOT agreement that you have, the project, the Highway 1 widening cannot be bid until this has been done and is a part of the bid package. This is one of their requirements for the bid package.
So you don't have all the information yet on everything, but you're bringing it to council to get an approval?
Right.
Okay.
And at this point, we're not asking for an approval of funds. It's kind of an up to $100,000 is what we've been told on the cost estimate. I would just say up to $100,000 would be our cost, but we are looking to bring that cost down with an open cut. But this is just simply stating that council commits to moving the infrastructure that is impacted through this project.
And without this in place, the 4 lanes do not complete.
They cannot
do not come to our industrial park. Do not come to our town.
They cannot go out to bid without this.
So we're referring to the widening of Highway 1 from where it is now up to Oswald Lumber, and any utilities that are within the town limits, we would be responsible for those.
Right, and the utility that's impacted is a sewer line, the sewer line that comes out of the industrial park across Highway 1 over to the vacant Lester Height property, and then water lines at the Windmill Road and Highway 1 intersection.
And DOT informed Central Midlands that all of the right-of-ways have been secured, and that project is scheduled to begin coming into Batesburg-Leesville next fall, next year.
Right.
Fall, that's correct. 19.
Any other discussion? District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
5,
No.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes, resolution passes. Moving on to item D, approval and updates and changes to the town's Freedom of Information Act. This is for FOIA. Policy based on state law changes regarding the FOIA. Do I have a motion to approve
So moved.
those changes? Mr. Prouse, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hallman? Any discussion? If you would, Mr. Luckady, we did receive this in our packet. Thank you so much. And if you would, give us a synopsis for the public, please.
All right, in 2017, the South Carolina legislature made a number of changes to the Freedom of Information Act laws that are in place. And due to those changes, there were some changes that we needed to make to our policies with regards to be conforming with the law. There were some general changes regarding, email being a suitable request for freedom of information, and that, let's see, I'm gonna hit the highlights of some of the changes. It got into the financial side and limiting the deposits to no more than 25% of anticipated costs being paid up front. So setting limitations with regards to fees. Some people, if somebody submits a large request, your fees have to be based on very particular criteria now versus it just being open to that entity charging what they feel they need to charge. So there are more restrictions put on that. It did reduce down the time from 15 business days to 10 business days to acknowledge the receipt of the FOIA and to acknowledge that you are working on it or turning it back over to the person that has requested it. Let's see, they got into some stuff regarding body cams. Now that body cams are in place for law enforcement, there were some changes with regards to that. That was the biggest highlights from the changes.
Any discussion? District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5,
Yeah.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Updates to FOIA have been approved. Moving on to item E, approval of the contract with Central Midlands Council of Governments relating to the comprehensive plan update. Do I have a motion to approve that contract?
So moved.
Mr. Prouse, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Simpkins. Any discussion? Again, Mr. Luckady, thank you for putting this in the packet. If you would just give a quick synopsis for the public, please.
All right. As we discussed with council through the budget season, it's time for us to update the town's comprehensive plan. This was listed as an annual action item and a top priority by council when we went through the annual action process for this year. We did budget $13,000 for this in the current budget that we have. What you have is a proposal from Central Midlands Council of Government for $12,648 to go through the process of updating our comprehensive plan. Their proposed scope of work includes project management and administration, 3 on-site meetings with staff, 2 council and planning commission work sessions, and then ultimately a final presentation of the comp plan update to the planning commission and at the public hearing for council.
Thank you. Any discussion? District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5? District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We've approved the contract with Central Midlands. Thank you for the comprehensive plan update. Moving on to item number 10, the manager report. Mr. Luckadoo, if you would take the hot seat up here, please. No excuses, sir. A, bike and pedestrian study.
Okay. Once again, the bike pedestrian study, I know we've updated a number of times on this at this point, but they are ready to get started on this bike and pedestrian study. We are looking, Central Midlands on Wednesday, September 19th, will be in Batesburg-Leesville along with the subcontractors who have been hired to perform this study from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on the 19th of this month. We would like to invite members of the public to come to Town Hall from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock that day for an open house. Anyone interested in the bike and walkability study can come that evening and share their thoughts on walking and biking in the community, and the subcontractors and the engineers and architects and everybody will be here to listen to the citizens and take any advice that they want to offer and answer any questions, comments, or concerns that they have. We will be putting this information out to the public on all the social media, leaning on the Twin City to let the public know about the open house, and just making sure everybody's aware from 5 to 7 on the 19th. Show up and provide your input.
It's fantastic. Very exciting. Moving on, is that all, sir? Okay, yes. Moving on to item B, District 1 and 6 special election information.
All right, with the resignations of Council District 1 and 6, we are going to have a special election here in the town. November 27th, Tuesday, November 27th will be the date of the special election. That will be coming off the Thanksgiving holiday on that Tuesday. The filing period for anyone that's potentially interested in serving in either one of those districts will begin on Friday, September 14th at noon, and will go until Monday, September 24th at noon. That would be the filing period. If someone is interested in running, they can get a copy of the application and what's that thing for signatures? The petition. They can get that. We have copies out in the lobby at Town Hall, or if they wish to go to Lexington, they can go to the Lexington County Recreation and Aging. But any petition does need to be submitted to the Lexington County Recreation and Aging Commission, not turned in at Town Hall.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Moving on to Town Pond raw water supply status. I know it's been dry up until yesterday.
It's been very hot, very dry for a long period of time. I believe we did get a 1/4 inch of rain yesterday evening. I think we got a couple. It seemed like everything today parted ways when it got to the town limits. Leesville, I think, got a little bit of a shower earlier, but we are about 5 feet low in the town pond right now. The top strainer is about 1 foot out of the water. There are 2 more strainers that are below that one. The next one is about a foot down underneath the water. So we are at a point where, now back in 2008, 2009, the 3rd strainer was about halfway out of the water. But we're not getting complacent here. We are very concerned at this point about what's going on at the town pond. We do need some rain. We don't wish for this hurricane to hit, but we would like to get at least a couple inches of rain out of this if we can to help the town pond. We did have PASCON out today at the Brody pump station down at the end of Brody Road, which is taking water off the creek of the Brody Mill Pond. We had PASCON come out. It had been about 20 years since they had dredged or pumped the silt and stuff from the creek out of the sump pumps that are right there at the Brody pump. We've been having a hard time getting good water to come out of that pipe back at the town pond. So we did that today, and it did increase the output of that pipe at the town pond about 2.5 to 3 times more water coming out than what we had before we did that this morning. So that was a very positive move, and we do have good water coming in. Additionally, with the hurricane coming, DHEC did put out today that any pond owners with dams, the dam plan kicked into effect today, and DHEC sent out the message for pond owners with dams to lower their ponds 25% in preparation for the hurricane. So the pond that feeds us right over here off Shealy Road, they've already begun their 25% reduction on the pond level. And we now have that water coming in as it wasn't overflowing before. So now we've got that water coupled with the increased water coming from Brody Mill. And we should cut off operations at noon tonight. So we're anxious to see if we can kind of pick the pond up a little bit. It's going to take more than that, but we're hoping that'll be a good start to put some water back into the town pond reservoir. That's it.
Thank you. And item number, or letter, sorry, D, fiscal year 2017-2018 audit is set to begin.
I know I mentioned the other day in the project update that we were trying to confirm Dooley and Company starting this year's audit. We have confirmed they're going to start a week from today on September 17th, the audit for fiscal year 2017-2018. So they will be in here Monday beginning that process. And it generally takes 1 to 2 months for them to go through the audit process and to be ready to report back to council with their findings. So just wanted to let you know that's getting ready to kick off.
So 1 to 2 months.
Maybe December, they'll report, around December, hopefully they'll report back to council.
All right.
And hopefully it'll be Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, executive session. We have 3 items for this evening. A, discussion of the contractual matters relating to proposal of auditing services for the fiscal year 2019. B, discussion regarding an annual performance evaluation relating to the town manager. And C, discussion regarding possible lease agreement with the Twin City Alumni Association. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Mr. Simpkins and a second by Mr. Gambrell. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Can I get a vote? Mr. Gambrell, right hand thing?
Yes.
All in favor. Here we go. And we are now in executive session.
Make a motion, we come back from executive session.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gambrell to return from executive, or to return to regular session, and a second by Mr. Prouse. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? And we are back in regular session. Possible actions by council and follow-up to executive session.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve a contract with Dooley & Company to provide auditing services to the town for fiscal year 2018-19.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Simpkins and a second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? District 2?
Yes.
District 3? District 4?
District 4 votes yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
And I vote Yes. Contract is approved. Any other possible actions by council and follow-up to executive session?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept and sit Councilman Gambrell on the Town Manager Performance Evaluation Committee.
I have a motion by Mr. Prouse.
Second.
And a second by Mr. Simpkins. Any discussion? District 2,
Yes.
District 4,
District 4 votes yes.
District 5. Is that a no vote, ma'am? No vote?
No vote.
You don't vote tonight.
I didn't vote, no. Go ahead, yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you. District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Mr. Olin is on the committee. Thank you. And any other actions from executive session? Any other motions? Moving on to item 13, potential agenda items for next month's meeting, October the 8th. Does anyone have anything to add for October the 8th at this time?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Mr. Simpkins. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Gambrell. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. And we are adjourned.